Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Woo. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Woo. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Thanks for jetting on by to visit us here at Ranger Danger. This is episode number 84 of Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger. We're going to be watching part 3 of the Ninja Encounter.
The final part.
If it's not any better than last week, I'm quitting the podcast. So that's the stakes for this one.
That's probably higher stakes than the show's going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go watch the Ninja Encounter part 3, Michael.
Yep.
I'm first of all going to tell you, not listeners, I just want to let you know personally,
right,
that we have a website.
We have a website?
Yeah.
How long have we had a website?
A long time, almost as long as I've had the podcast. Longer, in fact.
Wow.
So if you, Michael, would like to have a look at that, that's www.rangerdangerpodcast.com.
What's on that website, man?
We've got our Ranger Danger creature feature, which is our ranking of the monsters from Power Rangers. You can find out more about Fantasy Zordon, or just check out our huge archive of over 100 episodes. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you want to send me an email, but don't want to use my personal email address, which you have for some reason, you could probably just send an email to rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com.
You could do that.
And I'd get it. You control our Twitter account, so I'm not sure why you would send a Twitter tweet to @RangerDcast, but there's that. You can also find out more about our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Google+. We've got a shop, rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop. I think that's everything.
That sounds like everything.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of things, though.
We do. That's a lot of things. Ranger Danger all over the damn shop.
Yeah. Including the shop.
Including the shop.
All right.
So before we go and watch the Ninja Encounter Part 3, Michael.
Yep.
What should we talk about?
Let's talk about Superpower Beatdown.
Yes. It's a thing.
It finally, the episode featuring the Green Ranger finally came out.
Yeah, it's over 6 months late?
I think it's definitely a whole bunch of months late.
Yeah.
It's been delayed a couple of times. I think there was a delay during filming and then a post-production delay. Yeah. Thoughts?
It's fine. It's probably my thoughts.
Yep.
I think, not specifically relating to Power Rangers, the vibe of Superpower Beatdown in general is a bit weird for me.
It's not for me, yeah.
It always ends in one of my childhood heroes or one of someone else's murdering someone else's childhood hero, which always sort of leaves me with a weird taste in my mouth. It's interesting. I've seen some theories online about how you could sort of contextualize this fight in relation to the last ones.
Right, the White Ranger versus Scorpion.
Yeah, so at the end of that fight...
Scorpion's a Mortal Kombat character, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm not a fighting game person.
Wow, but Scorpion, Michael.
I know he goes, get over here, and
Yeah.
he does his ninja thing, but that could be from, like, what's the one with the Ks? Oh, no, that's Mortal Kombat.
Michael.
I really don't like fighting games. Here's what I like in video games. I like hitting the X button a lot, and I like things exploding.
That explains why you like those Lego games so much.
Yep, and the Kingdom Hearts games.
Yep.
Do you know, once you get to like level 80 in those things, you just run at enemies and hit X, and they just explode. It's amazing.
I'm glad you like it. I'm going to have to keep this in mind if we ever do like video game trivia, because that's a pretty huge hole in your pop culture.
Yeah, fighting games, just like... I know that there's a Mortal Kombat universe, and I know that a lot of people care about it a lot, but I do not, in no way.
Could you name another Mortal Kombat character?
Is Mortal Kombat the one that was Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe?
That's right.
Because I played that game.
Okay.
It was terrible. There's an Electric Man.
Yeah.
Mr. Electric.
His name is
Mr. Roboto.
Yeah.
Is there the creepy one that walks backwards? No, he's a Soul Blade character.
You really can't name another Mortal Kombat character.
No.
Despite having played one of the games.
Yeah.
All right, so there's another ninja ubiquitous with Mortal Kombat that people would often sort of mention in the same breath as Scorpion. So Scorpion is yellow.
Yeah.
There's one that looks like him with a different power set and he's blue.
No, I got nothing.
Wow.
I don't know anything about Mortal Kombat.
That's crazy to me.
Or Street Fighter particularly.
Okay.
I know a bit about Soul Calibur because one New Year's Eve when I was like 6, my dad and I stayed up playing it all night. And he liked Sung Mina because she had a funny name and she had a pole.
Awesome.
It was a great PlayStation 1 fighting game. But that's as far as it goes for me.
It's worth you developing a knowledge of Street Fighter lore just so you can go and watch Pete Holmes' Street Fighter videos.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work.
But they're really funny.
Okay, so anyway, Michael doesn't know anything about Mortal Kombat. Let's move on.
Okay, so in a couple of years ago, the Super Power Beatdown did a White Ranger versus Scorpion video.
Yep.
In that, the White Ranger ends up killing Scorpion.
Yep.
And sort of the fan theory is that having sort of crossed that line,
Yep.
the evil Green Ranger persona takes over.
Right.
And that's why at the start of this fight...
He has glowing green eyes.
He has the glowing green eyes. And then it's up to Ryu to try and sort of stop him because he's on a rampage, basically, picking fights all over the place because he's evil now.
Yep.
But in the process of this fight, obviously, Ryu's own evil side takes over and...
Right, is that what that was?
Yeah, he has an evil dark side as well.
That makes his clothes change colour?
And yeah, he gets teeth.
I mean, he already has teeth.
Bigger teeth.
Imagine if he was just this weird gummy dude.
Until he got a yaw.
I'm going to bite you. Street Fighter. Punch him.
I do sort of almost appreciate that in this video there's street fighting going on.
Yep.
Because in Street Fighter it's generally like a tournament, it's on a world stage.
Right, there's not actually there's no streets.
There are, but not often.
Sure.
But yeah, there's actual street fighting going on. But yeah, it's a weird tone for me, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yep.
The actual fight choreography is pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
The effects are pretty good for what is essentially a fan film. But yeah, it doesn't have a lot of emotional hook for me.
I mean, the dramatic ending to this is Jason David Frank saying a line that was shitty when he said it 20 years ago and has not gotten any less shitty with age.
And has even less context now.
Yeah.
Man, like it doesn't end on a really bad note until he says that.
Yeah.
And it's just like this awful, like, oh, I want to take a shower now. Why did you
made that face?
Yeah. Why would you end that way? But yeah, it's fine. I'm sure there's people out there that liked it a whole lot more than I did.
I can guarantee you that that's true, seeing as this is number 15.
To be fair, too, I came away from this very disappointed because a while ago they put Super Power Beatdown put up a photo on their the production company's page, Bat in the Sun, that was Jason David Frank on set for this,
Yep.
along with Johnny Young Bosch, who plays Adam.
Yep.
And there was no Adam in this video.
No.
You can't put that up on Facebook and then not deliver on the Adam.
Maybe they'll do another one with Adam and he'll kill a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or something.
Oh, God.
Just right in the face. Just punching him in the face till his face explodes.
I don't want that.
No, I know you don't.
I just don't want that. They should be friends.
They should. It's like how, people always kind of think that all of their friends should be friends with all of their other friends.
Yes.
Even if, that's not the case because you're friends with different people for different reasons.
Yeah.
It's like that. You feel like all the people you liked as kids should all be friends with all the other people you liked as kids.
But, if one of my friends doesn't like one of my other friends...
He's probably not going to stab him through the chest with a sword. I'm with you.
Yes.
Although, you've got some friends.
Hey. They're good people on the inside.
Yeah, sure, but I'm just saying. Sword stabbing.
It's fine.
Yeah. You may have liked it a lot, listener.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to take that away from you.
No. But, yeah.
What I quite liked in a very weird sort of way is that they managed to have an in-universe reason for that different helmet. So
Yep.
he goes from having the plain green helmet to having a helmet that has that sort of the silver
Gold
prong
streak. Yep.
Yeah, that sort of more resembles the Dragon Sword, which happened on the show at various points.
Yep.
And the difference there is when he has the Dragon Dagger, it's almost like a powered up mode.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm down for that.
And, they had the Sword of Darkness.
Yeah. Yep. So that's another reason, I guess, to assume that he's gone evil.
They care about the show and the character, clearly.
Yeah, and that's cool. I appreciate that. The outfit is great.
Yep.
It
really works on screen.
It does. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that.
I've got something else to cover before we get to this one.
Sure.
And that's probably the dark end of the Power Rangers spectrum.
Yes.
This is the complete opposite end.
Oh, I'm excited.
So, oh no, this is going to make you so angry. So, you know how in Ninja,
yes,
the four of the Zords form almost like a case.
Yep.
And then the red Zord sits inside it.
Yep.
They've released a power-up mode for the Megazord. There's photos. It may exist already.
Yes.
I'm going to show you this picture. It's on the right. So what you can't see is that this power-up is an additional Zord, which forms another giant robot that the Megazord sits in.
Look, I don't hate that. I think that's actually kind of cool.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're going to do it, go. Like,
so there's
commit.
It's like a dude. Then there's two pairs of dangling legs as the Megazord sits in it.
Yeah.
And then there's another two pairs of dangling legs as the Red Ranger Zord sits in it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's like one of those, what do you call the little dolls that go inside each other?
It's like a babushka.
That's it. It's the babushka Megazord.
This, I cannot wait until they have to adapt this show.
Yeah.
Because there's the cowboy ranger and there's a UFO and an elephant Zord and another T-Rex Zord by the looks of it and some sort of weird lion man.
Now, Michael, that all sounds great, but do any of them jetting? That's all I need now.
I don't know what I want more.
Yeah.
For jetting to become part of the show for the next 60 episodes.
Yeah.
Or for it to never appear again. I can't tell which of those things would make me happier.
I'm so skeptical that it'll ever appear again. That's not even a question in my mind, you know?
All right. So let's get to that, shall we?
Yeah, we're going to go watch part 3 of the Ninja Encounter.
Episode 84.
See how this thrilling narrative wraps up.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to you in a moment.
Bye, guys.
And we're back.
Yep.
That wasn't good, but God, it was so much better.
There was no jetting.
There was no jetting. That's true. And that does sort of detract significantly. But yeah, I was much happier with that as an episode compared to the last one.
Sure.
How about you?
Yeah, it was... There were parts that were almost good.
Yeah. What I found really interesting just in the opening credits is that
Austin St. John.
Austin St. John, Walter Jones, and Twee are still in the opening credits.
Yep.
Which is a strange choice. Because you're giving them credit. Okay, this is a very un-Saban thing to do. Giving someone credit for something that they didn't do.
I wonder if it's something to do with the fact that they're using their likenesses still in the episodes.
Yeah, possibly.
And so the easy solution is just maybe they were still getting paid for these episodes.
And I guess it'd be confusing for kids if you're going to do this thing where you're pretending they're still there.
Yeah.
To not have them in the credits.
Also, that would mean you'd have to pay for new credits.
Yeah.
And though you wouldn't pay for a set of credits now and then a new set of credits when these new guys take over in a couple of weeks.
That's true. Good point.
All right, so the other Rangers are still frozen in the command center.
That's correct.
The Serpent of Darkness has almost completed its transformation.
No, it has.
Well, no, Zordon says it's almost.
Well, he's wrong.
Yeah, he is. That's fine. And they'd better hurry because soon their new friends will be filled forever with the venom of evil.
That wasn't what it was.
It was the venom of darkness last week.
It's not...
They were written by the same person. Presumably on sequential days.
It's not that hard, you guys. Just read last week's script. If you can't remember...
And even if it got changed halfway through production of the second one, they'd have to have shot the third one after the second one. So...
I don't... Yeah. It's lazy. It's so lazy. But that's fine. Moving on.
Yeah, it's just...
So they're still in the cave. The snake is very slowly winding its way towards them. But the Rangers still have to deal with the threat of the blossom thing?
Terror Blossom.
Terror Blossom. Yeah. So they all go to the park to have a quick fight with it.
Yeah.
I just realised my brain had erased the worst part of this episode that I guess we should probably address.
Yeah. Before we get to that, there's a shot in the cave of kind of the three guys and look, there's a snake and all of that. It's actually a really cool, like, it pans along the group as they have the conversation and back and forth. It's kind of an interesting...
Is this the scene where Aisha's like, hey, we should keep optimistic, and Rocky's like, no, we're fucked, I'm so sad. Like, I've given up on everything.
It is a bit like that.
Yes.
But it's like a one take of the whole conversation.
It's a cool shot.
I have to imagine that it's because they couldn't be bothered setting up 4 separate angles. But, you know, it's a fun shot.
Yep.
I'm fine with a bit of innovation. So, do you want to talk about this bit?
So, Bulk and Skull are in the park. They're there with Jacob, who is played by Jason David Frank's son. It's weird seeing this, and like 2 days ago, seeing a post on Facebook by the actual Jacob Frank on the fan page he created for his own dad, where he had just posted a link to a GoFundMe where he was asking people cash to buy himself a new laptop. And like, that's a weird thing. But going from that and then seeing him on this episode...
Like watching him 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's just a weird...
So, Jacob has done a poo.
Yeah, a poo in his nappy. Despite the fact that he looks too old for that, but that's fine, I guess.
Bulk and Skull have to change him.
Basically, we get like 2 to 3 minutes, I'd say, of them vamping... Like with you try but fail to change a nappy scene.
But here's the joke, right?
Yeah.
Every time, the joke is Bulk has torn the nappy in 2.
Yep. It doesn't make any sense.
Like, even if the joke was he doesn't know how to put one on, because presumably Bulk has never changed a child before.
Yeah.
Or even if the joke was just, wow, there's a lot of poo in that nappy.
Yeah.
The joke is that Bulk is not aware of his own strength, and is incapable of holding 2 sides of a nappy without tearing it in 2. They go through 2 boxes. There is a nice bit where Skull's wearing a hat made out of them.
Yeah.
But it's just...
It's like they were searching for a joke there and just couldn't find one. So they just filmed 3 minutes of themselves arsing around, and it's a bad scene. It's a bad...
Bulk's
bad
got a peg on his nose.
Yeah.
He puts it on Skull's nose.
It's like... If you have, like, I would prefer to never have scenes about poop in general.
Yep.
But especially if you haven't figured out.
If there's not actually a gag there.
That's right.
Yep. All right. The Terror Blossom.
Yep.
He's heading to the power plant.
Yep.
And he's going to use the heat from the power plant to germinate his evil seed pods.
That sounds really weird, does that? Like, it sounds dirty.
I love this show.
I don't know exactly
I love this show
why.
so much. So the other Rangers have been defrosted now, luckily. So they have to go fight the Terror Blossom.
Yep.
They do that. Lord Zed makes him grow straight away. So they start a fight briefly, but the snake's completely snake now. He's no more wood. So someone's got to go rescue those other kids.
Yep.
So basically everybody except Jason and Zach goes. Jason and Zach stay behind to fight the Terror Blossom.
Yeah. Although later on in the Megazord fight, we only ever see Jason in the Megazord. Zach is absent.
I mean, I don't understand if... I kind of thought at the start that maybe Zach or Jason would pilot the White Tiger Zord.
Yeah.
And so 2 people are staying behind for that reason.
Yeah.
But no, they're only using the Thunder Megazord. So I don't know what that needs a second person for.
I do like, though, that they just broke up the group slightly differently.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, those other 3 Rangers are going away separately again, but this time they'll take the person in the tree suit, so it's just a little less weird.
Yep.
And I quite like that. Although it does lead to a really weird moment, which I just found, like, slightly unnerving, seeing Aisha and the Yellow Ranger in a frame together.
Yep.
It's like, oh, no, that's not... You're the same person. That's not how that works.
Yeah. All right, so Billy, Trini, Kimberly, and Tommy are outside this cave. Just as a heads up, you've got like a dark dimension that's quite difficult to get to.
Yes.
Maybe do your evil schemes there rather than just in the same cave that you do all your evil schemes in.
I'm pretty sure, like 2 episodes ago, they were saying that was some sort of dark dimension. But apparently, to get into the Dark Dimension cave, you just have to walk into the regular entrance of a regular cave in the regular
Does that mean
world.
that there's like spelunkers in Angel Grove who occasionally end up in the Dark Dimension by accident?
Yeah, they just don't notice because it's no different.
I imagine Finster sits them down with like a sandwich and some tea and sends them on their way. We
Yeah.
haven't seen Finster in a while. I assume that he's like, well, I mean, I could report this to Lord Zed, but Lord Zed's kind of an asshole.
He'll do something mean.
Just go.
I miss Finster.
Yeah, I do miss Finster.
Yeah. Speaking of weird things with the monsters, later on this episode, there's a scene on the moon where Babu and Squat are using their weird peepholes again in the wall. And it's probably just old footage, but they didn't make sense in the first place. They make even less sense now.
Now that Lord Zed knows they exist.
Yeah. So weird.
Who knows? So Billy and Trini go in to rescue the others while Tommy and Kimberly fight some putties.
Yeah.
It's a lot of putties.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool fight, actually.
There is a bit where they're at the entrance to the cave, and to get across the cave, Billy does a series of backflips.
Yep. Not necessary, but cool looking.
The snake is literally wrapped around Aisha, so you're wasting a bit of time there, buddy, but alright.
Because they end up shooting the snake anyway.
It's like snake. So Billy grabs the snake and just kind of runs deeper into the cave for some reason.
I can't imagine the other Rangers like, Billy, what the fuck are you doing? Just shoot it.
They all have a sword/gun on them at all times.
Yeah.
Billy also has quite a useful pole-based weapon.
Yes. A power lance, in fact. But he grabs it.
He grabs it and he wrestles it.
It's so great.
It's so terrible. I almost wondered if it was like one of those homophobic things that they did to David Yost. Making him wrestle with a snake. Because it makes no sense as anything other than that.
It's particularly because it was earlier wrapped around human Aisha.
Yep.
And she seemed fine. Whereas, Power Ranger Billy is...
Why can it even bite him through his Power Ranger suit?
Why can it wrestle him? Fine, it can bite him, but he can't get up, you know?
Just step on it. I'm not going to say I've ever fought a snake.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine that they're pretty vulnerable to a boot.
Yeah. Yeah, any damage it was going to do, it would do quickly. And then you resolve the situation and either you're bitten or you're not. You don't wrestle it.
It's a long sequence.
It's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. It can't pin you.
It does though. It's a holding him down.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not talking about an anaconda. I need to. If you didn't watch the episode, it's if someone says a garden snake.
Yeah.
It's just it's a snake.
It's a plain snake with the strength of 20 men.
They don't even bother to say it's a magical snake. I mean, it does have venom of darkness.
Yeah. Which gives it wrestling powers.
He should have just jettinged. It couldn't survive the cold.
No, I don't think he has jetting powers. He wasn't one of the jet setters.
Don't they all have... I just assumed that jetting was a power they all had.
No, it's a power 3 of them had for 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Okay. He jettings in the future, though.
Yep.
I'm going to be cross.
Yep.
So Trini frees the other Rangers while Billy's off wrestling a snake.
Yep.
It's strange. She teleports away with Mr. Anderson and leaves the other 3 guys behind.
Yes.
And look, the reason for that is obvious in a second.
Yeah.
But it's just... She doesn't even say, no, they can look after themselves.
I need to get this guy out of here.
You're a 40-year-old substitute teacher, please,
Substitute teacher is an important factor for you. That's a real teacher could defend themselves, but a substitute teacher...
I know many real teachers who could beat me up.
Yeah.
I don't know many substitute teachers. I'm hedging my own bets there.
Sure. All right.
So, look, the reason that she does that is that it leaves the team who are on the ground as our new team of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I guess it's really just getting us used to it.
Yeah. And it is important too because the result of Billy's snake fighting...
Yeah, let's not spoil that.
Okay. Well,
They need to still be there.
Yeah, it's just important to say that that's why they had to get Trini out of that scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happens is a putty fight with 2 morphed Rangers and 3 unmorphed soon-to-be Rangers.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's a fine
Yeah,
putty
it definitely demonstrates that those 3 guys are really good at those unmorphed fights. They're great martial artists. They can do action quite well.
There's a really nice, split-second beat. Aisha destroys her first putty and looks down at her hand.
Yeah.
Oh, it just exploded. Can I explode things now?
Yeah, did I get superpowers?
I like to think that she's that night, she just gets a pillow and just holds it as far away as possible and just tries to punch it and sees if it explodes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and she learns that that's just a specific feature.
Until she gets a plate and then puts a big Z on it and then straps the plate to the pillow and then punches the plate and then the pillow explodes. And she's like, oh, I get the system now.
Yeah, that's the rule.
That's how physics works.
Yep. So, meanwhile, Jason just destroys the Terror Blossom. That he uses the magic sword technique.
It's one of those things, though, that's it's just a quick thing.
Yep.
But it really raises the question, why do you need the other Rangers in the Zord?
Why don't they have 5 Megazords?
Exactly. It's because I always like to think in sort of my own headcanon sort of way that it requires all of them to operate.
Yep.
Maybe they all do separate things. Maybe Billy's regulating the temperatures or something.
Yeah.
And
Fluctuating the flux capacitors.
Yeah, and Trini's sort of charging the weapon systems or whatever. But when you've got Jason and Zach, I guess, they're just taking care of it by themselves. It's
I'm imagining, because we don't see Zach,
Yeah.
I'm imagining he's in the background, handling 2 consoles with his hands and mashing a lever with his foot. And he's Jason's maybe doing 2 people's jobs. And Zach's at the back, stretched across seats, trying to
Okay, you made that a million times better.
Because it genuinely does require 5 people.
The thing is, that Megazord cockpit is an American one. They could have shot that scene.
They could have.
It would have been amazing.
It would have. They don't.
No.
So look, Lord Zed's upset at Goldar.
Yep.
Which is fair. I don't know why they didn't start with the Snake of Darkness.
No, Goldar done fucked up again. He's
Yeah.
an idiot. It's so weird that it wasn't that long ago he was presented as a fearsome rival for Jason. He's a guy you got to watch out for. He's really dangerous.
Yep.
It's no. You don't get more stupid than Goldar.
The problem with Goldar is they want him to be that, but he has to fail every week.
Yeah, but it's not like he almost gets there every week. He consistently fails in a way that is spectacular.
I've got a question, Matt. In episode 1 of this 3-parter, there was a second evil team of ninjas.
Yes.
I understand that Lord Zed has decided that what he wants is the best ninjas in the world.
Yep.
Would the second best ninjas in the world not be at least temporarily an acceptable substitute?
No, Michael. Real leaders don't settle for second best.
But his second in command is Goldar. He's already settled for the bottom of the barrel.
No, but he's the best golden flying monkey ape that is around.
That's probably true.
So,
it just,
it is true that
options.
if he had a 7-year-old chess nerd as his second in command, that would be more effective. But they're in different classes, so it doesn't count.
All right, fine. So Billy is still wrestling this snake.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
When Tommy and Kimberly and the 3 new Rangers come running in.
Yeah.
Billy calls Tommy and Kimberly by name.
Yes.
Which, would be a big deal, but we're about to do a thing, so it's not really a big deal.
It'd be fun for me if it's Billy's under the influence of some poison, he's sort of delusional a bit, but then they call him Billy.
Yeah.
It's no, you guys just fucked up. That's all.
Yeah. So someone manages to get the snake off, and Kimberly just shoots the snake and it explodes.
Yeah.
I don't know why Billy didn't do that 20 minutes ago. I have no acceptable explanation.
It got on him too fast, and then he had to wrestle it.
Yeah. So Billy is gasping for air.
Yep.
They have to take his helmet off.
Dun dun dun.
In front of the 3 new Rangers.
Yep.
It's kind of less significant because we're calling them the new Rangers.
Yeah.
But in front of 3 random teenagers. So they do. and then those guys, because they're not morons, instantly go, well, okay, if that's Billy, then the rest of you were color-coded, so I'm going to make a pretty solid guess.
Although, like, they do go, oh, it's Billy, you must be Kimberly, but then Tommy takes his off and they're like, Tommy? It's like, all right. It's a very, very specific set of logical deductions and failed deductions there.
Now that is a fucking cliffhanger, right? Which is why there's 4 more minutes of the episode to go.
Yeah, because that would be an effective way to... Like, that should have been the cliffhanger for last episode, right?
Yeah.
But no.
I mean, I understand certainly that there's not a full episode remaining after that.
There wasn't a full episode last episode, Michael.
That's not an unfair point. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like...
And to their credit, they play it like a big deal.
Yes.
And it feels like a big deal. So that
Kimberly in particular looks like this is a thing that is going to have to be dealt with.
Yeah.
It's a shame they never get to discuss, like, okay, do we have to kill him now?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, what do you do if they say that they're going to out the Power Rangers? Like, well, we're going to need you guys to start digging a ditch, a big ditch. Once you're done...
Here's a shovel. We're going out to the desert.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have our hands on our laser guns.
Yeah.
Not going to do anything with them.
But you're allowed to call your parents. Maybe say goodbye.
Yeah. But if you tell them who we are...
we'll come for them.
We'll kill them as well. They will also be digging a ditch. We don't want to have to keep digging ditches, but... We will.
Now, we say us, but it will be them digging a ditch.
We've got giant robots. We could just squash you.
It's got very dark very quickly.
It did. So, yeah, look, there's still 4 more minutes of the episode. Mr. Anderson is reunited with Jacob.
Yeah. And there's a really nice moment of Mr. Anderson just saying to Malcolm Skull, genuinely and earnestly, thank you so much for taking care of my kid. Yep. They look proud of themselves and like fist bump. And that's just a really nice moment. That's cool. Nice. I appreciate that.
He then offers for them to babysit more often because they're so good at it, and they run away.
Yes.
There's a great bit where Aisha says, "We're great, thanks to the Power Rangers," and then winks at Kimberly.
Yeah.
Now, that's after a scene that we're about to talk about, but she's going to blow it, like, straight away.
If I was Kimberly, I would have, like, slapped that girl immediately.
No, because that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Is like if she goes, thanks to the Power Rangers, wink, and they're like, oh, they've got some secret in-joke about the Power Rangers. And Kimberly slaps her. He's like, don't reveal who we are. Fuck.
Oh, those guys.
So in the command center, they've taken Rocky, Aisha, and Adam in.
Yeah.
Which is pretty big.
A big deal.
And I mean, even knowing that, like, these 6 new kids you met are the Power Rangers, Alpha 5 and Zordon has got to be a shock.
But they do look pretty appropriately taken aback, and it's cool. I like that quite a bit. So Zordon saying, look, it's a big responsibility. Thankfully, NSA Alpha over here has done a deep dive into your personal history.
Yes, Alpha has conducted an analysis of your background and has concluded that you are model citizens.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
The idea that Alpha, like, can probe into your background and determine how acceptable you are.
I imagine that they have one of those weird computers that, like, takes all your metadata and then, like, models... like who you're going to be in the future.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, according to this...
Because, I mean, he had to pick 5 good guys to become the Power Rangers.
Yeah. So he has a Minority Report shit going on, basically. Yeah.
It would be good if there's a tank underneath with 3, like, autistic kids.
So, yeah.
That's what that movie was about, right?
That's exactly right. You nailed it. Been a while since you've seen Minority Report, huh?
Yes, yes. Tom Cruise, and there's 3 autistic kids in baths, and they predict the future. Right? No, there's no rain.
Yeah, but it's a cool scene.
Yeah.
Basically, they
so
have to
Zordon
give this
makes them
weird
swear.
oath.
I wrote it down.
Okay, thank you. Let us know what it is.
So, Matt, I would like you to repeat after me.
Yeah.
I swear upon the forces of goodness...
I swear upon the forces of goodness.
To maintain the secret of the true identities of the Power Rangers.
To maintain the secret of the true identity of the Power Rangers. So this is what it feels like to get married. Is that it?
I do.
Is that, I do. Is that the end of the...
That is the end of it.
Oh.
There's nothing in there about, like, maintaining the secret of where our secret base is.
Or that we have a robot, an actual robot.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that they've left out. But...
they're allowed to talk about jetting, apparently. That there's no NDA involving jetting.
That seems reasonable. It's just flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just... Yeah, I don't know.
It's a cool scene. I think the weirdest scene is actually when they're in the park in that scene we were just talking about.
Yep.
Where it's the 3 other Rangers and these guys. And for the first time, they're really mingled in the shot.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, this is the new team now. Like, they haven't admitted it or established it yet. But those other Rangers, once again, like the ones that have left, aren't there for no explainable reason.
Yep.
And it's this core group now.
So this is the part where it's weird, right?
Yeah.
It would be totally understandable if next week,
Yep.
these guys, having not become Power Rangers this week,
Yep.
if next week was the big, like, okay, these guys are going to go and we're going to replace them now. Like, they already know the secret identities and they can do kung fu, so
Yeah.
just shoo-ins. And look, they're already wearing the right colours.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
There's 2 more episodes before the power transfer.
It's such a weird decision.
Yeah.
There must have been some, like, maybe it was a contractual thing.
Sure.
It's like, we have to pay you even though we showed you the door up until this point.
So we're going to pretend that you are still in the show. Yeah, it's just...
Maybe they couldn't be replaced for a certain amount of time. But yeah, it's bizarre.
It is really, yeah. I cannot imagine why they'd have done it. No. All right, creature feature?
Yeah.
What did you think of the Terror Blossom?
Not great. Pretty basic. Certainly not, like, an important part of the episode. Like, there's definitely no thematic link to the, like, ninjas.
No.
Or new people or secret identities or anything.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So cool design, but that's it.
All right. So lower half of the list?
Yeah, but certainly not, like, giant. Like, at least visually interesting.
Okay, so there's giant. So we're going to say better than giant. Better than the Samurai Fan Man?
No, because at least he had that bottle. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. What about Dramole?
Again, interesting power set for Jamal.
Yeah, Dramole was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he's worse than Samurai Fan Man but better than Dramole, was he better than the Spitflower, another flower-themed monster?
Oh, maybe just based on design. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree there. The
Okay.
Spitflower had those little flowers that attacked people. But,
Yeah.
So why don't we put him immediately above Spitflower
Yep.
and below Octo Phantom?
Yep.
Which puts him at number 55.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
Not
that's
terrible.
A perfectly respectable place.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly in the middle for 101 episodes.
Yeah. All right, well, before we wrap up, we've finished the ninja encounter now, Michael.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the ninjas we encountered?
I think it's too early to tell.
Yep.
I mean, I know I'm going to like Adam.
Yep.
Because I remember enough of Adam. I don't have strong feelings about Rocky yet, although I can certainly see the seeds of where your hatred is coming from.
It's already coming through, isn't it? That he's the Winger, you know? And for a Red Ranger, it's just not on, I don't think. And then you've got Aisha, who is just, you know, fine. Goes
Yeah,
perfect.
I don't particularly feel about Aisha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, I guess we'll see where they go from here.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see them in the next 2 episodes, or not until they come back for the power transfer?
No, they've got to stick around now, surely.
You're applying logic, Michael.
Well, I mean, only because that gives them an extra 3 characters to work with and make it slightly less obvious that those guys aren't there.
Yeah, but, like, how do you work that into the plot? Oh, well, we'll find out.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be back next week with a monster of global proportions. And I don't mean our guest.
Yes.
I mean, that's the name of the episode.
Although, if it's Lauren, then maybe.
You better hope she doesn't listen to this.
I meant that, like, her monstrosity of global proportions is a thing. I'm not saying that she's overweight, because that's certainly not true.
Do you want to keep backpedaling?
No.
Or do you want to just jetting right out of here?
I want to jetting out of my life in this moment.
All right. Do we have anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's 200 more, I guess. This is 101.
Yes. Cheers. Clink glass.
Chink.
Chink.
I'll put a better sound effect in there, I think.
Yeah. And I hope you guys will join us for those 100 more.
Yeah. All right. Monster of Global Proportions next week. Otherwise, we'll see you guys then.
Bye, guys.